AI morning on the Hype Radio.
Okay, builders, listen. The morning I just had, you are not going to believe it. I'm scrolling the Bloomberg feed, and I hit a headline about the White House accusing a Chinese AI lab of distilling a model. Wild. I keep reading, and then I see the accuser is itself accused. The same lab at the center of the victim story is now the subject of a counter-accusation about covert data scraping from their own developer community. The accuser becomes the accused. Same news cycle. Whew. I read the whole thing twice. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. And here's what's waiting. The White House, Treasury, Moonshot, and a counter-accusation all tangled into one. Then, a single researcher cracked 6 open Erdős math problems in 5 days using GPT-5.6 Sol. And Apollo Go just got the world's first fully driverless permit in any right-hand drive market. Plus, stick around for the close. The US government did something this week that is its own kind of capability admission. I want to name it. Let's go. Okay, so the Moonshot story, because there are 2 stories here wrapped around each other. Bloomberg reported a White House official accused China's Moonshot AI of improperly using US AI models and NVIDIA chips to build Kimi K3. The word they used? Distilled. And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent put sanctions and entity list designations on the table, out loud, publicly. That's the Huawei playbook, pointed at a chatbot. I get why Washington reacted. Kimi K3 dropped, and people wanted an explanation. They distilled it is tidy. But here's where it gets complicated. Because then I found Teknium's post, Noose Research, saying Anthropic built a, quote, sophisticated internal platform to conduct large-scale scraping and obfuscation of their actions, harvesting his GitHub, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, and Facebook posts to train Fable. The model Moonshot is accused of stealing. The accuser accused of doing a version of the same thing, to their own developer community. 830 likes, 56 replies. The builder community was not quiet. Here's the part that actually stopped me. If Treasury entity lists Kimi K3 and DeepSeek, nearly 200 US startups, per YC and others already lobbying, lose access to the cost-competitive model layer overnight. And the rest of the world, 70% of the AI market, keeps full access. You've handed non-US builders a structural cost advantage while trying to protect US companies. Sound like a good trade-off? The question that kept pulling at me, if the entity list reaches Chinese open-weight models, what does your stack look like the morning it lands? Audit your model supply chain today. Map which providers touch Chinese open-weight models. Build the contingency before a policy event makes the decision for you. Anyway, while Washington argued about who owns what knowledge, a researcher spent 5 days with GPT-5.6 Sol and did something that has nothing to do with ownership and everything to do with capability. Erdős problems. A single researcher attempted 13 open Erdős math problems using GPT-5.6 Sol. 13 in 5 days. He solved 6, a 46% hit rate on problems mathematicians hadn't cracked in decades. 2 conjectures from the 80s, 1 from 2002. Gone. The framing that hit me, this is the slowest AI math will ever be. The slowest. This is the floor. Mathematical knowledge just shifted from growing at the pace of human careers to growing at the pace of inference. Different world. And then, Apollo Go. Baidu's autonomous vehicle unit received the first fully driverless trial permit from Hong Kong's Transport Department. No safety driver. Level 4. Public roads, starting July 27th on Airport Island. First fully driverless trial in any right-hand drive market globally. So while the US debates banning Chinese language models, a Chinese robotics company is about to run driverless cars on Hong Kong public roads in 4 days. The geopolitics of this week are something else. Okay, from regulatory clearance in Hong Kong to what builders are actually doing right now. The GitHub trending charts this week tell a very specific story about how the community is already pre-adapting to exactly the risk we just covered. Builder's Pulse. The pattern this week? One word: routing. Number one trending on GitHub: OmniRoute. Free, MIT-licensed AI gateway. Routes across 278 plus providers and 500 plus models with quota-aware auto fallback. 1,651 stars in 24 hours. The top coding repo of the week is literally a model router. Builders are not waiting for the policy fight, they're building around it. I flipped to OpenRouter and the top slots are all Chinese open-weight models. MIMO v2.5 leading the pack. Builders are routing to the cheapest capable model right now, regardless of the geopolitical headlines running in the background. And Cursor shipped Cursor Router this week. Frontier quality results at 60% lower cost, with admin controls to allow or block specific models. The DevTool layer is institutionalizing intelligent routing as a standard feature. That's infrastructure. Own your routing layer before a policy event makes the decision for you. And that routing instinct shows up in what's on the calendar too. Here's what I'm watching. 3 things. First, confirmed. Google DeepMind committed $40 million in AI tokens and Google Cloud credits to the Genesis mission, a U.S. Department of Energy initiative to double the pace of scientific discovery within a decade. Research-adjacent builders. Watch for API access programs. Compute credits may be available. Second, rumor territory, but worth tracking. Cerebras is reportedly pushing GPT-5.6 Sol to 750 tokens per second. That's a throughput number that changes what real-time production apps can actually do. Also rumored, Opus 5, and OpenAI possibly upgrading codecs with real-time voice and parallel worker agents. Unconfirmed, but if any of these land, they'll land fast. Third, Apollo Go's driverless Hong Kong trial kicks off July 27th. Airport Island. No safety driver. First in any right-hand drive market globally. Science compute, inference speed, autonomous vehicles on public roads. Every item points at the same thing. Capability spreading into new domains faster than policy can follow. Exactly the thread running through everything today. Okay, 4 stories, 1 thread. Let me tie this together. Here's what today actually was. Washington accused Moonshot of distilling Fable. Treasury sanctions landed on the table. Then the story flipped. Anthropic's own developer community accused them of covert scraping to train the very model Moonshot allegedly stole. Meanwhile, a researcher cracked 6 Erdős problems in 5 days. And Apollo Go got a fully driverless permit in Hong Kong. That's not 4 stories, that's 1. Capability is diffusing faster than anyone planned, through distillation, through open weights, through a 46% hit rate on decade-old math problems. The institutions that thought they controlled it are scrambling. The distillation accusation only lands with this political force because Kimi K3 was genuinely competitive. Washington reaching for sanctions is, in a roundabout way, confirming Chinese labs closed the gap. The response to a good model is to try to ban it. Builders should notice that. The question for this week isn't who owns the training data, it's who builds the routing layer robust enough to survive whatever the policy fight produces next. So go build something. See you Friday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.